Good day, Sir Chan, and good day, everyone. My name is Christian Ocampo Bustamante, and today I will be presenting the book from Nicholas Walter Straff, which is Justice, Rights, and Wrongs. So, in his book, he talks about justice, rights, and wrongs, and we will delve deeper on that on my research paper. So, on my claim on the claim that I chose is that inherent claim of rights is intricately linked within the concept of primary justice to ensure fulfilling lives. And my paraphrase to that is individuals' inherent claim to rights is intertwined with the notion of primary justice to ensure that each individual lives a fulfilled life. And to support my claim on that is that claim of rights are inherent to all human beings and it is not a social construct. I say to this, it is not a social construct. This is because our claim of rights are supposedly inherent to us the day we were born. So we all have inherent claim of rights. These inherent claim of rights are the basic needs of human needs. And another supporting point that I would like to add is that primary justice is interconnected with the inherent claim of rights of an individual. So why is inherent primary justice connected with inherent claim of rights? This is because without primary justice, we would not be able to exercise our inherent claim of rights. And I will tell you more about that on our objections. But so for my last supporting point is that the exercise of primary justice is essential for human beings to have a good life. And why do I say this? I say this because of very few things. This is because without the exercise of primary justice and without inherent claim of rights, we would not have a good life. This is because we would be cut off our basic needs of human life, and also our way of exercising, our way of protecting these rights would not exist if without exercising it. So let's move on to my objections. So my objections is this. So the first one pertains to the first supporting point, which is cultural relativism or higher status objection. This is because some cultures are different from one another, so the inherent claim of rights would mean less. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're from another culture that would take part in, which I will tackle in the answers to objection. So the higher status objection also, it pertains to a person having a higher status than you. So when a person has a higher status than you, basically you're always gonna be in self-doubt. You're going to say that, oh, this person is higher than me, so I should give them more respect and they can do whatever they want to me. But in perspective, that is not how reality should work. Reality should be like all of us should be equals. And another objection that I would like to cite is that system injustices. So the basic system of here in the Philippines have injustices, and these injustices are not being addressed correctly or is not being concerned enough with in our society. And this is because it is unfair. The marginalized people have no rights. Their inherent claim of rights have been stripped out, and their primary justice have been stripped just because of a higher status, just because of our system, because it revolves around people who have a higher status than them. And thirdly, my objection to that is that primary justice is not an indication of pneumonia or if a good life, a fulfilling life. Well, to answer that, primary justice is necessary, but we'll tackle that in our answer to objections. But this is, it's not really necessary in this objection because if you do have primary justice, would you have a good life? Would a person be able to have all the things in life if they have primary justice? Well, not everyone does. That means it is not an indication of a good life. But I would like to answer those objections in my answer to objections. So firstly is that non-justifiable action. So the cultural relativism and also the higher status objection would not have forego or forsake because their actions are non-justifiable. You cannot justify yourself just because you are higher status or because you're from another culture. You have to respect other cultures, and you also have to respect people who are below you if you do have a higher status. And second is that the negligence and ignorance. This is because people are negligent and ignorant. That is the basic say to the answer to system injustices. System injustices um, are have been created. This is because solely of negligence and ignorance. Without negligence and ignorance of others, there would be no system injustices. So, thirdly, my last answer to objections is that primary justice secures the welfare of others. It actually supports us, it secures us, and it promotes our well being. Because we have justice, we can have our primary justice whenever our inherent claim of rights are being attacked. And that is our basic needs of living in this world. So, it is very crucial and very important to take note of that. And so on, I will conclude my research paper because we were running short of time. And so, the inherent claim of rights and primary justice is needed. This is a necessity in society. That is my conclusion to all of this. This is because our inherent claim of rights and primary justice are really essential to society. If we don't have them, how would we even live well enough for in a society? That is why I do believe that my conclusion isn't, I don't know if it's the best, but I do think it's the best possible solution that anyone would come up to or conclude to. So I would like to then give 3 insights from my research paper, and that is human beings are equal. All human beings are equal, nevertheless, regarding of their status, social status. We are equal beings, and we have to respect each other, or respect from one. We need to respect one another despite of everything. And my second insight is that individuals value the meaning of justice. Individuals should value the meaning of justice. This is why, because without them valuing what justice really is, because a person never really understands a situation if they're not in it. So that's why justice is really important to us, because it would then give those who are a victim to unnecessary evils would have justice, and so the problem would then be a bit more solvable. It would be solvable and more better. And also, lastly, is that justice and rights must exist. The existence of justice and rights are very essential with our livelihood. And without them, all things would be put into chaos, and that would mean the end of the world, as we know. It's just, for example, in the genocide in Israel, justice and rights were not exercised well, and people there are dying, and that is not really good. So that's all for today. Hope you learned something from me and from Nicholas Walter. Basically, this is just a brief summary, discussion about his paper. So that's all in it for me, and thank you for listening, and have a great day.